This is episode 1896 of the Daily Meditation Podcast. This is Mary Meckley, and I honor you, as always, for showing up for yourself as you give yourself permission to slow down and connect to the best part of who you are. In today's episode, you are going to be guided using a breathing technique to help you gain some clarity in your life. Anxiety is one of the biggest distractions out there. And when you're experiencing intense anxiety, it can be hard to focus. And in yesterday's episode, I shared with you how my focus on a few isolated events that happened in Greece, where I happened to be visiting, really distracted me to the point where I was experiencing this underlying anxiety. In yesterday's episode, I mentioned how I like to check the news before I travel somewhere new, especially if I travel overseas, and just become familiar with what's going on there and what's happening currently. And there are many great things happening in Greece, but I focused on the worst thing possible that happened, a rare event, and it dominated my thoughts. And I shared with you how I just couldn't let my anxiety rest. It wasn't just one event that I zeroed in on. There were a lot of other really bad things going on in Europe that I was also focusing on. So I felt this anxiety while I was there. And I shared with you how I used an affirmation to uplift my thoughts. Well, before I got to that point where I was able to notice what was going on, why I was feeling this way, it took me some time to notice that I was pushing these feelings aside and numbing out from what I was really experiencing, because I really wanted to be focusing on my vacation. But these feelings wouldn't rest. So when I started to notice this anxiety and why I was experiencing it, why out of all the places that I've traveled in the world, this year I was experiencing such anxiety, I realized that I was tired, I was jet lagged, and that happens often when you travel overseas, especially. But what I began to realize when I started to assess where this anxiety was really coming from, the root cause, because normally I'll read something tragic and it doesn't dominate my thoughts so much. I'm able to balance my emotions and have more clarity. Well, I realized that about a month before I went on this trip, that I just wasn't really taking very good care of myself. I was working on a lot of different projects, and I was pretty distracted in general. So I wasn't eating so well. I wasn't getting a lot of sleep. And my consistent daily habits that I've worked for years to cultivate were unraveling. And as a result, my clarity was unraveling right along with my daily habits. And I share this with you because what you do each day matters. Your day-to-day actions influence your clarity. This mind-body connection is so powerful. And one way you can determine whether or not you're feeling anxiety, because I really wasn't aware that I was experiencing this underlying anxiety until about the middle of my vacation. And by that time, half my vacation was already gone, and I had been moody, anxious, fearful, and I really was looking forward to this trip. By not taking care of myself, this neglect contributed to neglect of my thoughts and my focus. You may notice this about yourself as well, that when you get off track with those boundaries you set up and create for yourself as to what you'll allow yourself to eat or how much you will allow yourself to eat. The same goes for sleep, how much you allow yourself to sleep and the quality of sleep. Do you ease yourself into your nighttime routine, or do you just fall into bed and crash exhausted and have kind of a restless night and wake up still feeling tired? In the kind of company you keep, the kind of news you allow yourself to become absorbed with, the songs you listen to, these things that you do day in and day out matter. They make a difference in the quality of your life, and they make a difference as to the kind of anxiety you may experience. Your breath and your mood are interconnected. So one of the best ways to manage your thoughts and your focus is to manage your breath. So in today's episode, I want to share with you a breathing technique you can do to help you manage anxiety. And this is a technique where you inhale through your nose and you tense your whole body. You vibrate with this tension. You tense your face, your neck, your throat, your shoulders, your chest, your arms, your hands, your stomach, your hips, thighs, knees, calves, feet. You really tense your whole body. And then you vibrate with that tension, feeling your energy, feeling this. This is what anxiety can feel like within you. And then you exhale through your mouth, forcefully letting out this anxiety and tension. And then the most important part, you feel the stillness and the relaxation. You notice the contrast between the tension and the relaxation. So in your meditation today, and as you go about your day, when you feel anxiety, do this breathing technique. Inhale through your nose, vibrate your whole body with tension. Feel the tension. It's real. It's there. And as you exhale, exhale through your mouth, releasing your tension. And feel the relaxation. Don't forget that part. Feel it. We often don't allow ourselves to feel what it feels like to experience stillness and relaxation. You can do this technique 3 times in a row and then relax into your own inner stillness. If you'd like the full guided half-hour meditations, you can find those on the Sip and Om meditation app, where for 2 weeks, absolutely free access to the full app, you can receive over 1,800 guided meditation access, as well as slow down guides and journals that are customized for each week's series. This allows you to go a little more deeply into a theme we explore, a different one each week. As always, you are so worth slowing down for.